Now I invite Sri Gope Kamal Sindhi Rai.
The journey that goes on. Sindhi language has its roots in ancient civilization. It encapsulates cultural history of Sindh. It has given unparalleled poet Shah Abdul Latif to Indian literature. As I look back, I see a small, weak child who is neglected in games, whom no team is prepared to accept as a playmate in the school. Maybe his inability to measure up rupee for the bat and ball required to join the team was the main reason. Being neglected in games, he spends time reading children's stories from the school library. All available Sindhi and Hindi books have been read in the primary school itself. Now detective books are read. If detective books are not available, he reads anything which comes his way. If Sindhi Hindi book is not readily available, he turns to Urdu books. Those days, Hindi detective novels used to have some Urdu couplets of famous poets at the end. He used to read those couplets and enjoy them. To his simple mind, writing poetry was no big deal, as only few rhyming words has to be strung together. As a student, I started writing some Urdu couplets or poems which earned my admiration from my class fellows. I enjoyed all the attention and was encouraged to write more. In 1964, my first poem was published in Sindhi magazine from Pune. Let me confess at that time, I was completely ignorant about technical requirements and art of poetry. Yet, like a frog and a whale, I used to consider myself as an important poet. My meeting with my mentor and Ustad M. Kamal, prominent Sindhi poet, changed my entire understanding and perception of poetry. He initiated me into the complex metric form and finer points of poetry expressions. I continued to write poetry, but it would fail to satisfy me. I had a deep feeling that I was not writing poetry, but merely practicing in a rhyming meter. I continued writing prose, and my first novel was published in 1973. In 1976, I got a job as a civil engineer in Dubai municipality, which is continuing even now. In course of time, many prominent Sindhi writers such as Moti Prakash, Kala Prakash, Mohan Kehani, and Govardhan Ghayal came and settled in Dubai. We all would often meet and discuss about literature, but it was only after Vaste Mohi landed there that the Sindhi literary scene at Dubai changed. Vaste Mohi had already acquired a reputation in India of being a leading poet of new wave poetry. With his initiative, we started monthly literary meetings regularly. There I started writing stories, satirical literary criticism, and free verse. Genre of ghazal eluded me for a long time. For a long time I felt that ghazal form, which calls for strict disciplines, after slipped my grip. I realized that ghazal is that infidel lover whose lifelong love is always illusion. I abandoned ghazal as a lost beloved. Meanwhile, I continued to read books of Sindhi and Urdu ghazals. Suddenly in 2007, my strange beloved returned with its plentiful bounty. I realized at that time that ghazal had undergone a drastic transformation from its initial romantic content and treatment. With new lexical exploit, it had become multidimensional. With use of creative language, it had acquired new idioms. I had to carry this transformation at new level and explore new horizons. It was a challenging task and I accepted it. I observed that within me lives a child. He is not mischievous but stubborn and insisting. His demands are endless. He is attracted towards colors of butterfly. He wants to smell the fragrance of colors. Throwing away his umbrella, he feels happy to drench in the pouring rain. He wants to hold rainbow in his hand and put it in his pocket. It is because of reason of that my ghazals abound in words like cloud, rain, fireflies, sun, moon and stars. The use of those words occurs spontaneously. Although I have experimented with other literary forms in prose as well as poetry, but I found myself at ease as if at home in ghazal genre. I feel that any significant poetry is probing of inner self. It is akin to peeling skin of an onion. One layer leads to another. In the end, you find emptiness. It is this emptiness that is sought to be invested with new meanings and context. The words are used to cover cracks. What has remained unsaid so far finds its expression. Now, nuance are added to words and thought is transferred through the prism containing rainbow colors, blended through imagination. I would like to conclude with the words of my friend, eminent Sindhi poet Vasudev Mohi, inverted comma, after rain, some drops remains on the leaves of a tree. They silently flow from one leaf to another. The journey of any creation to me is inaudible sound of a falling drop from one leaf to another. At that time, there is some unnoticeable vibration in the leaf. At the time of every creation, I have experienced that vibration, that sensation, and it is not necessary or possible that every raindrop would create such a sensation.